Real estate law CEO, affair. Her voice still echoes in my head, flat, dismissive, almost bored. Don't be dramatic, David. It's just one night with my boss, the man I've dreamt about since our marriage. One night. The words burned colder than fire. I remember staring at her, my lips pressed into something that looked like a smile but wasn't. I whispered one word back. Okay. That's all I gave her, a permission she didn't deserve. I went to bed beside her that night, listening to the rhythm of her breath, the scent of her perfume, the faint vibration of a message landing on her phone. She slept easily. I didn't. The next morning, I was drinking coffee when her phone rang. She didn't get to it in time. I did. His voice exploded through the speaker, desperate, broken. Our entire merger just collapsed. Who exactly did you say your husband is? Her lover, the CEO, the man she had risked her marriage for. She froze in the doorway, her robe tied loosely, hair falling across her face. Our eyes met. She looked at me as if I were a stranger. I didn't speak. I didn't have to. That phone call was the end of something, not just a merger, not just an affair. It was the quiet shattering of the illusion she thought I lived under. You see, my wife never really knew who I was. She knew me as David, the mild, unassuming husband who worked late hours at a law firm, who rarely raised his voice, who signed contracts with precision and a steady hand. She knew the surface. She never looked deeper. But I am not just an attorney. I am the architect of legal wars, the silent strategist behind billion-dollar real estate acquisitions, the man CEOs consult when empires are at risk, and the man her lover, her CEO, just discovered he'd been trying to outmaneuver in court. I said nothing that morning, just sipped my coffee, black and sharp. She stammered, "David," I raised one hand, stopped her words mid-air. Inside, my blood was cold. My mind, however, was alive, racing, dissecting every glance she'd ever given me, every sudden late meeting, every distracted kiss goodnight. I had lived beside betrayal without realizing it. Or maybe I had sensed it and chosen silence. But silence has an expiration date. Her affair wasn't just an affair. It was strategy. She had been dreaming of power, of luxury, of standing beside a man who could give her the kind of empire she thought I couldn't. She bet on the wrong man. I did not rage. I did not confront. Instead, I observed. At the firm, I had access to everything. Phone records, property transfers, shareholder agreements. I didn't need to snoop through her phone. I could map the truth like a chessboard. First, I pulled her credit history. Small withdrawals, luxury hotel stays hidden under vague entries. Not often, but often enough. Then I looked at his company filings, her lover's empire. A fragile tower built on over-leveraged assets, teetering on borrowed confidence. He had been negotiating a merger, the one that collapsed, with his morning phone call. The collapse wasn't an accident. It was my hand that pulled the string. Weeks before, I had already seen him circling, seen the way he leaned toward her at a charity gala, how her eyes flickered with that hunger she thought she hid. I had already moved, quietly, carefully, signed documents delayed, leverage applied to rival firms, information seeded in the right ears. I cut the merger's veins and watched it bleed. She didn't know. She thought she was slipping into bed with a rising star. She didn't realize she was clinging to a drowning man. Every night I came home, kissed her cheek, and listened to her excuses. Work late, dinner with a friend, tired. I nodded, smiled, played the part. Inside, I was building the end. One night I stood at the window watching her sleep. Her phone buzzed. A single message appeared. Soon, we'll be free. He'll never know. He? Me, the ghost of her marriage. I almost laughed. She didn't understand. I already knew. The truth didn't come in one moment. It came layered, like a slow unraveling. First, the financial audit, quietly ordered under the guise of firm necessity. His name, her name, the overlaps, the trips, the transactions. Then, the hotel footage. A favor from a security contact. Grainy but clear enough, her hand in his, their bodies close, her laughter spilling into his suit. I watched it alone. No anger, no heartbreak, just confirmation. One evening, I set the folder on the dining table. She walked in, humming, carrying groceries. She froze when she saw it. "David, what's?" "Open it." Her hands trembled as she flipped through the pages. Credit card statements, surveillance stills, legal documents linking his company to a sudden collapse engineered by mine. Her breath hitched. You knew?" I looked at her, calm, cold. "I know everything." Tears gathered in her eyes. Not guilt, fear. She wasn't sorry, she was cornered. And that's when she realized the scale of what she had done. She hadn't just betrayed a husband. She had walked blindly into a war she didn't understand. And she had chosen the losing side. The CEO called again the next day. His voice cracked, desperate, almost incoherent. "They're pulling out, every investor, every single one. David, please, you don't understand. I didn't know." I ended the call. My wife stood there, pale, shaking. "David, what did you do?" I set my coffee cup down, precisely on its saucer, looked her in the eyes. What I always do. I win. Her face crumpled. "You ruined him." "No," I said. "He ruined himself the moment he touched you." Silence stretched, heavy, suffocating. I slid divorce papers across the table. Already prepared, already signed by me. Her name waited, blank and expectant. She stared at them as if they were a death sentence. "David, please, we can fix this." I was confused. I didn't mean." I leaned closer, my voice a whisper of steel. "You meant every word, every touch, every betrayal. Don't insult me with lies." Her tears fell then, not out of love, out of loss. Loss of security, loss of status, loss of the life she thought she was building with me while betting another. And I watched. Detached, the way I watched CEOs crumble in court. She reached for my hand. I pulled it back. That was the final blow. I left her that night. No yelling, no pleading, just silence. The next morning, her lover's company filed for bankruptcy. The news spread fast. Stockholders fled. His empire collapsed in full view of the world. Her phone rang constantly. She didn't answer. She sat alone in that house, our house, surrounded by the weight of everything she thought she wanted. I didn't look back. Driving away, I felt no grief, no anger, just clarity. She had gambled her marriage for ambition, for lust, for something she thought was brighter than me. She forgot one thing. I am not a man easily replaced. And so, as the city skyline blurred in my rearview mirror, I whispered the only eulogy she deserved. "You never really knew me."